Okay guys, today I'm going to work from this multi-view drawing to create a perfect Duplo. The only thing I'm going to do at the end is add some fins because they got buckled off here. I'm going to thicken them up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start by creating this outer box shape. I'm going to draw this bottom square at 1.252 by 1.252 and then I'll extrude it 0.756 high. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use a center rectangle. So I come up here, rectangle, and I come over here, it's center rectangle, and I go right from the origin. That sets me up for symmetry later. I'm going to type 1.252, tab 1.252, enter. Let's place that there. Now I'm going to go ahead and extrude that up. Oops. I'm going to extrude that up 0.756, enter. It's pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of place one stud, and I'm going to go ahead and revolve it around here, so, I'll use symmetry, or circular pattern. I'm going to choose the top of my box to draw on, and I'm just going to throw a circle on here. So the question is now, how big and where does it have to be? So come back over here, and I look and I say, okay, my diameter of that stud on the outside there is 0.371, and it is 0.309 from the edges. So I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and in my drawing here I'm going to come up to dimension and I'm going to tell it to be 0.371 in diameter, and I'm going to tell it to be 0.309 from the edges. 309, enter, and 0.309 from that one. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and I'm going to extrude it. So the question is, how high does it get extruded? It gets extruded height of 0.2, and then the chamfer on that is 0.05. So I'll extrude this 0.2, enter, and then I'll click on that, right click and hit chamfer, and I'll push it in so that says 0.05 and hit OK. Now I'll go ahead and pattern that around there. So I'll come over to create. I'll go over to pattern and I'll do a circular pattern. I'm going to select that and that and that. I'm going to get all the features, and I'll select my axis is going to be that axis there, and I want 4 in my pattern, and that's placed them correctly. So that's pretty nice. Following that, I'm going to now go to the bottom of that. I want to basically hollow this out a bit. So I'm just going to sketch a square on here, and then I'll go back to my multi-view drawing, go take a look at the bottom, and I can see the wall thickness there is 0.1. So I will just dimension, and I'm going to tell this to be 0.1, that to be 0.1, enter, this to be 0.1, enter, and this to be 0.1, enter. I'll go ahead and finish my sketch, and now I'll extrude this in, and I want to extrude that back in, leaving 1/10 of an inch. So I could just extrude that up to, it's negative because it's going in as a cut. It was 756, so I'll make it 0.656, which is 1/10 of an inch less, and hit OK. Okay. It's not completing. I don't understand. Extrude that up 0.656, enter. Okay, there it is. So that's all good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this center peg. Okay, so for the location, I'll notice that it is exactly halfway. 0.626 is half of 1.252. So I can do a center circle that is size 0.526. So the outside of that, so I'm going to do a circle, and I'll put it right at the center, and 0.571, I believe. I got to go double check my work real quick. 526. Apologies. Double click on that. 0.526. Enter. Shrinks it down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put another circle in there just so I don't waste plastic. I'm going to edit this same sketch here. I want to start a new sketch. I'll put another one in there, and I'll dimension that just to be 1/10 of an inch thick. 0.1. Therefore, it just saves me a little plastic. I'll go ahead and extrude this back down the same distance I extruded the shell in, which was 0.656. And make sure it's coming the right way. It is. Hit OK. So that's that center peg. All right. So that is what we have currently. I'm going to go ahead and add the fins. I'm going to add 8 fins to make it look real nice. Okay. So adding these fins here, I don't want them to go all the way up in. The pegs, the studs on the block below will only extend up from this plane here, 0.2 inches. So that's all I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and sketch it here on this, and I'll extrude up in. So I'm going to, let's see, first things first, I'm going to project some geometry. And I'm going to use some constraints to help me do this. So I'm going to come down to project. And I want to project, I only need to project one, and hit OK. Now I'm going to go back over on the bottom to my drawing, and I'll just work down here on this one. OK, so I want to have little fins that come out here and meet this. So I'm going to use a 3-point arc just to be fancy. I'm going to go ahead and do a 3-point arc. I'm going to make a little arc here like that, and I'm going to move it down here. I want to use constraints to do this because it's going to make it pretty easy, so I'm just going to tell, go to the horizontal vertical, and I'm going to tell this to be horizontal vertical with that, and then I'm going to tell this to be tangent to that. Now if you look, boy, that's really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, and rather than do it again over here and have to worry about trying to match and make it the exact same, I'm going to just use a mirror function, which will allow me to use symmetry. So I'm going to put in a line. I'm going to make it a construction line, and I'm just going to go from corner to corner. And then I will go mirror. I'm going to mirror this right here along this line and hit OK. See, there it is. Now I'm going to do a circular pattern so that I can do the other fins. So I'm going to come over here to circular pattern, and I'm going to choose this and this. And for my center point, I'll go and use that. And I'll do 4 of them. Hit OK. See if I got it. Yeah, I do. That's lovely. All right. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to extrude these. So I'm going to extrude that one, and that one, and that one. Might be an easier way to choose these, but I don't know it, so I'm just going to do some hard work, I guess. Alright, so I selected 8 fins. I'm going to join them, and then I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to go negative 0.2 inches as a join. Hit OK. So now those will be in there to lock in to the top of the stud on the Lego below it. So that'll keep it from wiggling. It'll be, I think, a highly functioning one. I believe perfect recreation of that, plus the fins, which I believe are on there, but they're so skinny they broke off when we printed them. So I think our modification will be good. But this should be a wonderful working 2x2 Duplo. And next we will start with track elements. How exciting. Awesome.